astray. Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you this morning? I have missed you, and I want to thank you up front, all of you, the board, and Reverend Mary for making it possible for me to have the vacation that I did, because it was lovely and perfect and everything we wanted family to be, and only because I have the opportunity through you to do that. I am just so grateful, so thank you all, and I'm so glad to see all of you here this morning. And for those of you out in Facebook live stream land, everybody wave. Yes. So I want to address a couple things first before we get started. Whatever you hear in my voice, and if you happen to hear me sniff out loud, please know that the cold symptoms appeared while I was in New York. I tested before I got on the plane. It is not COVID. And I tested again last night just to make sure I wasn't breathing any kind of abnormal cooties on you. These are normal cooties. You will keep your distance. I will not breathe on you. And you will not get the cold that I have been living with. So, just so you all know. However, I would like to encourage you to remain vigilant. Keep that mask over your nose and mouth. Do your part to keep each other safe from whatever you may be experiencing. I have to say that we were able to travel on an airplane twice, and people were extremely considerate, very thoughtful, did our best. There's no such thing as 6 feet of distance, but everything else was done pretty well. And we're not sick, so I'm glad about that. So the other thing I want to address is the air quality in the building. Most of you know we had a major breakthrough flood on our roof, the flat roof over the offices, pouring into the library once again through the air vents, saturating the carpet and the walls, and creating quite the literal stink. And there's a question about how safe the air is here in this room. So couple things. One is most of the damage is in the library, and because the carpet is carpet, yes, some of it blew into this sort of area down the ramp and into the underneath the ladies' bathroom floor, things like that. However, what we have blowing in there are not just fans to dry everything out. They're also air scrubbers. Okay, they're HEPA filters. They're the kind of thing that take the particulates out of the air, so the mold particles or the whatever the stinkiness is actually pretty subdued. We're not using that area of the office. We're using Andy's office just as we need to for accounting, and my office, which is cinder block, is pretty much untouched. So we're doing everything we can to get that taken care of, but what we have here in the building this morning is as clean as we can make it, and in this room with those doors closed, about as clean as it could possibly be other than the usual dust. So unless y'all want to come in and dust, feel free. But other than that, we're doing pretty well, and we're good here, okay? We're good here. We will keep you posted on what happens with the repairs. We've talked to the insurance company. We will have them tell us what they will do, what can be paid for, what we might have to cover. We may have to move into the chapel for a little bit if we do some major reworking over here. But you know what? That's fine. Well, we can make that work. We've done it before, and it'll be fine. So that's your important news update for the morning. So now let's get to the fun stuff, shall we? Our practitioner this morning is Patty Powers. Patty will be doing our opening invocation and doing a reading for us to get us started. And we have some rockin' music with Jeff and Kat today. Yoo-hoo! I want to thank our sound team back there in the back for creating the live stream, the actual recordings, and all the good stuff that goes into making Sunday morning happen, whether we're here or not. So I can't thank you all enough for just keeping things going and making it lovely. I have truly missed you. All right, so let's get centered, shall we? Let's start with that. I think the bowl is here, and we have an opportunity to just take a moment and go within. I invite you just to close your eyes wherever you are and let the sound of the bowl take you into the sanctuary of the heart. For there is in this place, in the center of our being, that is love and light and peace and joy, untouched by the world. It is the place in us that always knows the oneness of all things.
So in this heart space, in this space of oneness, of love, of peace, of God, we know that everything is perfect. We accept all things good into our heart, into our body, into our lives, and into this morning. And we feel that love spreading out, filling this room, healing our building, healing the world. Because that's what we do. And so in this spirit of healing, of love, we know that today is blessed and very blessed. And we're excited for a brand new year. And so in this, we just let it go, knowing it is already done. And so it is. Good morning. I wanted to, before we go further, make sure that everyone knows how to get prayer requests. There are many ways. There's a box on this table over here, and you can write on a prayer request form on the pew in front of you. You can write on a napkin. You can put it on anything you would like. Your practitioners are ready and waiting. And God doesn't care if you pray for a button or a diamond. Anything that you would like to get prayer for, please let us know. You can also call the church's phone number, and you'll be guided to leave a message for a practitioner. I believe it's option 1, but listen to the choices. Or you can send an email to prayer@claremontcsl.org, and that will go immediately to the practitioners. If we get something besides a prayer, we'll delete it, just so you know. And you can also ask any practitioner, either in person or you can call them. Their numbers are on the bulletin or on our website. And we would love, absolutely love, to pray for you for anything you would like. So my reading. Often I have a book of Doreen Virtue, not a book, I have a deck of Doreen Virtue angel cards. And I often go to them and ask a yes or no or some kind of question, and I pull a card. I pulled a card this morning and asked what I needed to know about the new year, and I decided this applies to each and every one of us. The card I drew is power, and here's what it says about that. You have all the power of your Creator within you. All the power of divine love, wisdom, and intelligence is available to you. You have the spiritual power to see angels and the future. You have the intellectual power to tap into the universal wisdom of the one mind. You have the emotional power to empathize with others, and the physical power that is truly unlimited. The angels ask you to give them any fears you may have, being connected and with being a powerful person. Your angels see a quiet and beautiful aspect of your true power, stemming from the only power in the universe. Divine love. Allow yourself to shine with this radiant love so that your true power can radiate out into the world in miraculous ways. Thank you.
Well, happy 2022, everybody. Woohoo! Here we are. I'm ready for it. This is a great song for just now. And I hope you'll all sing with me if you want to. Oh, come on. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, yes. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Yeah, I can hear you. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. Oh, listen, Lord, if you want to know. Come on. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for for everyone. Trombone solo. All right. Are you ready? Come on, let's sing. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's a perfect way to start 2022.
Thank you. And you know, Kat, I just have to say, there's something about that song and your voice that go together perfectly. You know, I always hear you as this magnificent singer, but every once in a while, the depth and the richness and the fullness of how you sing just melts my heart. So thank you. Thank you both. Okay, we have a new theme this month. Oh my goodness, it's called. And I'm going to read to you what I wrote about it. I thought, why should I reinvent it when what I wrote is so perfect? Excuse me. So what I wrote was, Nobel Peace Prize laureate Archbishop Desmond Tutu once said, "Despite all of the ghastliness in the world, human beings are made for goodness." His unshakable optimism in the face of overwhelming odds and his limitless faith in the ability of human beings to do good made him a universally inspirational force. Our theme this month is a tribute to his legacy, finding, recognizing, and celebrating the good that we are and that life is. So it's not just the word goodness, it's oh my goodness. Oh, for the wonder and delight and joy and the unexpected surprises that come our way. To truly be in that place of curiosity and a willingness to be inspired or awed. That's what the O is for. And it's my goodness just as it is your goodness. It's about us getting away from the idea that somehow if I have something good, you lose, right? That materialistic viewpoint that we were all raised with that says, if my needs are met, you're out of luck. That's not true. Because you see, there's only one. There's one power, one force, one energy of life, and I am that, and so are you. And the way that my good shows up for me is unique to me. So what I love, what I desire, what fills me up, what inspires me to create is uniquely mine and takes away from no one. So it's a reminder that I am entitled to, that I am worthy of, that I am expected to live my life, not at your expense, but along with all of us. And then goodness, because good is what life is. It is the truth of life. And we know that on the human plane it can look pretty darn miserable. And yet, we also know that love and peace and joy and beauty and music and laughter and food and money and every good thing is always present in, as, and through us. So, oh my goodness, this month, we're focusing on seeing it, on finding it, on creating it, on living it. So that is how we are starting off 2022. Which brings me to today's talk, which is called This is the Moment. Now, I know most of you get the e-blast. I also know most of you don't read the e-blast. You know who you are. I bet some of you don't even scroll down to see what else is in the e-blast besides the title for the week. I would encourage you to do so every once in a while. We have a good little tidbit of something you might be interested in. But let me just go ahead and tell you what our talk is about today. I have to admit there's a part of me that's a little hesitant to embrace the idea of a new year and all of its new possibilities. Because after all, the last couple of years, a lot of those possibilities were disguised as unwanted changes. So I'm a little hesitant. So I'm adjusting my focus, and I'm inviting you to come along. How about we move into the new year with the continued awareness of this moment? We still can set an intention and a direction for the year, but rather than focusing on attainment or achievement, let's focus on our moment by moment alignment. Am I moving towards fulfillment or away from it? Am I thinking in harmony with my heart, or is there a struggle within? Am I waiting for the right time? Or can I feel the rightness of the moment that I'm in? We can do all of these things with practice. So I'm inviting you to be aware of every moment of 2022 as our perfect unfoldment of good. We're all ready for a little bit of a break, aren't we? Jack Kornfield says that, talking about the new year, says that, we can set a long-term intention. A long-term intention is like setting the compass of our heart. No matter how rough the storms or how difficult the terrain, even if we have to backtrack around obstacles, our direction is clear. And that's what we're being invited to do. These last 2 years, as we've talked about, and whoever believed it really would be 2 years, right? But these last 2 years, if nothing else, have brought us to this refinement of what we see as important, what we value, how we really want to live. It has stripped away most of the opportunities for busyness, along with the opportunities to be together and do all those wonderful, loving, fulfilling things that we do. But this process has really focused us on getting clear on what we value, what's important to us. And I know for me that this whole process on the outside as well as on the inside has come down to the meaning in my life. Finding it, creating it, deepening my awareness of what it means to be alive, what it means to be who I am, what it means to show up in the world in a way that helps it work for everyone. And when I'm focused on the overarching intention of creating and recognizing meaning in my life, then the things that are stuck to me from my past seem to fall away with a lot less effort, a lot less struggle on my part. So I'm looking at this year, like I do at the beginning of most years, as an opportunity to forgive, to find ways to express love, to be of service, the things I normally like to focus on. But, I'm kind of expanding that a bit. I want to forgive not just my friends or family, but also whom I might consider my foes, for the character flaws that keep showing up in their lives and in my face. And that means that I also get to forgive my own shortcomings, to understand that we are acting in the world from a place of our own perspective, and that your perspective and my perspective could be worlds apart, and we still could enjoy each other's company. Anybody have one of those friends where you're like the exact opposite? You're like all artsy and airy-fairy and, floaty, and they're like organized and get the list done, and aren't we grateful they're in our lives, We come together really well. So this idea of focusing on meaning and value has created a shift in me. It's allowed me to allow for my oh-so-humanness on oh-so-many days in a way that keeps the door open for the divine to flow through me, for the divine to flow as me, for the ability to choose a response that is open rather than closed, that is loving rather than fearful. I've kind of moved away from focusing on the mechanics of my practice. Like, am I meditating long enough? Am I remembering to go to treatment first instead of last? Am I, is there something I can read or a workshop I can take or a workbook I could do or a class that will help me to be more spiritual? It's like the how-to stuff, which we all do at certain points in our lives. It's good. But it's moved me into a place of just living from that perspective that everything is spiritual. That you are, that I am, that the crazy conditions of the world, that what I like and what I don't like, and the opinions people have, and it's all one big expression of the wholeness of life. And if I can see the sacred meaning in it, then I will choose to live from it. And I will be part of the solution and the healing rather than the dissonance. Mary Chapin Carpenter wrote on Facebook a couple days ago, instead of resolving to improve something in the future or leave behind something in the past, I want to pay more attention to the present, here, where I am. The things that give me purpose and meaning, identity and joy are all here with me now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, here now. They're just waiting to be noticed. And here's how I know this is true. Try this with me. Take a moment, close your eyes, and I want you to bring to mind something that brings you peace or joy or a sense of connection. And feel that. Feel that place of peace. Feel that place of deep joy. Maybe it's a baby. Maybe it's holding someone's hand. Maybe it's the smell of bread baking. Maybe it's nature's glory. But that feeling is within you. Now, change your vision to something or someone who always or that always gets under your skin. That bugs you, that triggers you, that's sure to send you into a little bit of a foot-stomping hissy fit. You know those people. You know those situations. Can you feel that in your body? How it changes? The tension that comes? And now change that picture once again and evoke a memory or an idea or a picture of something that invites tenderness and caring. Maybe you have pets. Maybe you have grandchildren. Maybe you plant a garden every year and you wait for those new little sprouts to show up. But there's a place in you that is tender and compassionate and wanting to serve. So open your eyes again and realize that all of those things are in you at every given moment. You see, what happens is we have an experience or a bad conversation or something scares us or startles us, and we forget that we are more than the momentary emotional reaction that we have. And we think that that's all we are. Man, that person pisses me off. Stomp, 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 stomp. And don't talk to me because I'll yell at you too. But if I shift my focus to how loved I feel by someone giving me a hug or sending me a Christmas card out of the blue or leaving a present on my desk, I'm not in that space anymore. Why? Because I am all of these things. This is my wholeness. This is my humanity. My job is to let my humanity and your humanity show up and give it a space to land that's lined with divine promise, with spiritual grace, with room to grow and to blossom and to be and to become. See, we're not meant to live like set an intention for the year. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to learn to knit. I'm going to brush up on my Spanish. Fill in the blank. You all have one, right? That's what I'm going to do this year. Right? The pandemic year was, oh my God, I'm finally going to have time to, bake sourdough bread. And then you look back and you go, no, it wasn't the time. I have plenty of time. It still didn't have. We set these things out there. And the year goes by in unexpected ways, and we get to the end of the year and go, well, that didn't happen. What's wrong with me? You end up feeling less than. You lose confidence. You feel helpless, even in your own life. If I can't control my own physical self, well, what kind of power could I possibly have? we get ourselves into a position of less than. And we are not meant to live that way. We're not meant to live that way. Our life is the soul's desire to remember the greater truth of who we are. The practice of yoga is a way of, we mostly, in the States, we know mostly hatha yoga, which is the physical practice of creating a space of spirit, mind, and body all moving in unison, right? We breathe in, we get our body in alignment, we stretch, we move, we quiet our mind through this practice. And there are all different kinds of yoga. There's also the yoga of learning. There's 3 or 4 others, which of course escape me at the moment, but there's lots of them. But the word yoga itself translates to yoke. It's the idea of putting a yoke on a team of horses or oxen to pull the cart. And the horses or the oxen, the team, is our individual self and our universal self. We are constantly searching for ways to bring our human and divine together in unison to pull us through the world, to haul our worldly goods behind us, right, in the wagon. But it's the yoke that we seek. It's the union of what feels to be worldly and what feels to be spiritual to get us back to a place where we recognize that we are all of that. That the human can give way to the divine, let the divine run the show rather than the ego. That there is a way for us to harmonize our larger self with our worldly self. Jeff Kober, my favorite Buddhist blogger, says the Veda is concerned with the attainment of union with this thing that is greater than oneself, whether we call this one thing nature or God or oneness or Ishvara, and that everything one does and the spirit with which one does it is moving the individual either in the direction of union or in the direction away from union. And that's what we find, right? That sometimes what we think and what we're doing and how we're acting is in alignment with our intention and our direction, and we feel that divine flow and things are easy and we just move right along. And then other times we know we're saying things or thinking things that are creating separation within ourselves, with each other, with the world. He goes on to say, at each moment, we ask ourselves the question, is this action, this thought, this behavior moving me toward God or away from God? And then the question becomes, if it's not moving me towards fulfillment, if it's not moving me into alignment, do I still wish to be involved in it? Sometimes I'm not really ready to give up being mad. Like, don't be nice to me, I'm still mad at you. There's a couple really good country western songs that describe that point. And some days the answer will be yes, I'm ready. I still want to be involved, It's like, I don't care. Right now I'm mad. Okay. And some days the answer will be no, I don't want to be involved in that. I want to find my peace again. I want to find a way to resolve or release or ease this situation or ease this argument in my mind or be able to sleep at night and not wake up at 2 a.m. spinning with something, right? And given that everything is about movement towards this union with, we begin to know that even the days of I don't care may be used by nature to help us on our journey. Because what we teach in Science of Mind is that it is all good. In other words, the good comes from and in everything. No matter what it looks like, eventually we get to the good. We've seen it in our own lives. The worst situations in the world have turned or changed our direction, and yet here we are. Here we are. And in some ways, it was the best thing that ever happened to us. And that is the message of life. That is the essence of how we grow and transform in the world. The thing is, we don't do it by looking into the future and waiting for ourselves to accomplish something. You know, it's okay to have goals out there. But you know what? If I really want to lose 20 pounds, what I do right now matters. If that's really my overarching intention is to create more love in my life, then our conversation today matters. It's those small steps that get us to the place we want to be. But those small steps do not happen if we're only looking out there. Remember, it's a compass. It's not a map. It's a direction we're moving in. It's not a step-by-step instruction. Some of us don't follow step-by-step instructions very well anyway, do you? It's a direction. So what happens is that instead of creating a hard line, failing to meet it, feeling like a failure, and then starting all over again next year, or next month, or next budget period, what I can do instead is to know the intention and the direction and check my alignment in the moment. So where I am right now, who I am right now, how my life looks right this minute, what's the step I can take towards my greater goal? What's the feeling I can engender that will bring me closer to that heart space I want to live in and live from? What can I say to you right now that will build a bridge, that will create room for understanding? Ernest Holmes calls it the chalice of expectancy. It's not that we hope for the future like we wish for something. It's the original meaning of the word hope, which is to look at with expectancy of good. To look forward with an expectancy that something wonderful can happen. That of course we're moving forward because we're getting somewhere. And that somewhere is always our bigger self, our grander self, our more of who we already are self. That's how we're meant to live. That's who we're meant to be. Holmes says, yesterday is not. Tomorrow is not. But today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. Today I live. So this is the moment. There's no right moment out there somewhere. This is the moment where I recenter, where I get grounded, where I look forward with a sense of expectancy and joy, trusting and knowing that things unfold for me when my direction is clear. All of these moments add up to a sense of achievement and attainment far grander than anything I can imagine. And so today I want to close with a new poem from Amanda Gorman, our poet laureate. You may have heard her speak this on Instagram. It's called New Day's Lyric. May this be the day we come together. Mourning we come to mend, withered we come to weather, torn we come to tend, battered we come to better. Tethered by this year of yearning, we are learning that though we weren't ready for this, we have been readied by it. We steadily vow that no matter how we are weighed down, we must always pave a way forward. This hope is our door, our portal. Even though we never get back to normal, someday we can venture beyond it. To leave the known and take the first steps. So let us not return to what was normal, but reach towards what is next. What was cursed, we will cure. What was plagued, we will prove pure. Where we tend to argue, we will try to agree. Those fortunes we forswore, now the future we foresee. Where we weren't aware, we're now awake. And those moments we missed are now these moments we make. The moments we meet. And our hearts, once all together beaten, now all together beat. Come, look up with kindness yet, for even solace can be sourced from sorrow. We remember not just for the sake of yesterday, but to take on tomorrow. We heed this old spirit in a new day's lyric. In our hearts we hear it. For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne. Be bold, sang time this year. Be bold, sang time. For when you honor yesterday, tomorrow you will find, know what we've fought need not be forgot, nor for none. It defines us, binds us as one. Come over, join this day just begun, for wherever we come together, we will forever overcome. Blessed 2022 to all of us. Namaste. Let's bless this new year with prayer. Breathing in this moment and understanding that in this moment is the power of the one, the essence and energy of all life, the givingness of spirit to its creation, the inspiration, the love, the joy, the beauty, all being made clear in each heart, in each mind, unique to each of us, and yet all flowing from that source that is the one thing, that one love, that one life, our life, this life, my life, your life. It is good that we are here. It is good that we notice, that we speak our word for this good to become clear and ever more clear. That our arms continue to open wide, that our hearts remain soft, that our minds quiet enough to let in all of the beauty that is there. Let us speak our word for joy revealed, for peace experienced, for new ways of being together. For life is all there is, and that life is good, that life is God, that life is my life now. And in this life, in this knowing, in this willingness to be open, the human gives way to the divine. The love allows for healing. The exclamation of delight fuels our creativity. Oh my goodness, life is good. I see it, I feel it, moment by moment, step by step, I am in my right place. Moving and meeting, speaking and thinking and feeling in harmony with my divine purpose to love and be loved. With my divine desire to heal, to be of service, to connect, to be loved, to be healed, to stay connected. How good it is to know the truth of our being, how blessed we are to find reasons to be grateful. How good it is to see and feel and experience the grace of life, which knows no reason. So I let this word of love go out into the world, into my community, into my own heart, and know that it is God and that it is done. For the nature of God, the nature of spirit, the nature of me, of life, And beyond all appearances, this world is one of goodness, of love, of joy, of becoming. And so it is. So it is. We have an affirmation today that you'll find in your bulletin. And I'll speak each sentence so that our friends at home can speak along with us. Today I live in the moment. Today I live in the moment. With every thought and action, I'm moving in alignment with the all good. And so it is. All right. I want to thank all of you for your end of year contributions. We exceeded our expectations because we simply held the door open and y'all just poured on in. That was just delightful. So thanks to all of you who contributed and continue to contribute. And know that as we support this community, we are also supporting the philosophy that we teach. We're supporting putting our ideas out into the world for healing, because that's really what we're here for, right? Our contribution baskets are in the back of the room, and you can also donate online using the PayPal button, the Donate Here button. Or, we have an address. You can always mail a check. That's another way. Do know that each and every contribution is blessed and gratitude is expressed. So as we give today, let's say our prosperity affirmation, shall we? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. Take it away, Kat.
All right. This song is a song from the Staple Singers, which I found, I think I was just a young pup when I found it, or just a young kitten when I found it. But it remained a favorite of mine. And the subject matter is reach out and touch a hand. And normally I say reach out and touch a hand, but we're not going to do that today. We're just imaginary hands, like little claws. We're just going to reach out and touch. Okay, let's do it. Yeah. Can't you feel it in your bones? A change is coming on from every walk of life. People I see in the light. Well, can't you feel it in your heart now? A new thing is coming on. Well, reach out and touch a hand and make a friend if you can. So reach out and touch a hand, and make a friend if you can. Reach out and touch a hand, and make a friend if you can. Well, you can clap your hands. It's been reflected in the attitudes of others just like you. Reach out and touch a hand, yeah, and make a friend if you can. 'Cause everyday folk are waking up, yeah, to need for one another. We're on our way, making the world a better place. So can't you feel it in your heart now? A new thing is taking shape. Reach out and touch a hand, and make a friend if you can. How do you do that? You reach out and touch a hand. You make a friend if you can. You reach out and touch a hand, and make a friend if you can. It's so simple. You just reach out and touch a hand. You make a new friend if you can. You reach out and touch a hand, and make a friend if you can. It's so simple. You just reach out and touch a hand. You just gotta make a friend if you can. You reach out and touch a hand, and make a new friend if you can. You reach out. That's what we gotta do.
I'm just so ready for some place to go dancing to open up, aren't you? Thank you for that. That was absolutely delightful. All right. Invitations. We need undecorators. I don't really want to see it go, but we do have to pack it up for the year, and we're thinking we might do that this week. Tuesday, midday, afternoon. I don't know how you're feeling when you're available. In your bulletin, I think it says from 11:30 to 2. We'll have the boxes to put the ornaments back in, and I'm happy to do the ladder work. If nobody else wants to climb the ladder, that's fine. You can just work on the parts you can reach, that's fine. But if you could come and help us undo what we did so beautifully so that we can be ready for the new year, that would be delightful. So Tuesday, 11:30 to 2, we're going to pack it all up and get it ready to move back to the hall and save it for next year. I honestly don't have any other announcements per se. Does anyone have anything else going on that we should know about that's coming up? I heard that, Diane. I will say to keep an eye out for the postcards that'll be coming out later this month about our annual meeting in February. We have lots to talk about this year, so I want to encourage you to plan on attending. If you're a member, you are able to vote at that meeting. If you are not an official member and would like to be, there's a membership card in the pocket of the pew in front of you. If you are not a member and would like to attend the meeting, you are more than welcome to attend. And this is just an opportunity for us to talk about the state of the union, so to speak, and to make plans for the coming year as best we can, as we know plans for the year are a little iffy these days. But we got to say something, right? So we encourage you to come to offer your opinion and ideas and to support your board. We have a couple openings on the board coming up, so if you think you might be interested in being a board member, will my current board members stand if you're here? Yes, and look like you're having fun? Good, good. So these are the people you want to talk to if you're thinking about being on the board. These are the guys that have an insight into what we do and how we do it, and really, truly, how much fun we have. Even when we tell you, yeah, thank you, everybody. Even when we're talking through making tough decisions or, trying to figure something out, that what's really nice about our group is that we come from principle. In other words, we walk our talk. So we know that life is abundant and that we are in our right place, and that if we are here being of service, it's because we are called to be. And what that does is it gives us a platform to work from where we can make decisions easily, where we can set out on a path, we can adjust as necessary, and you can be part of that. So think about it. If you have questions, talk to your board members about what it's like, and we have a nominating committee, which right now I know is Betty, and I'm not sure if we have anybody else on that committee yet, but Betty's going to find a couple people to work with us, and we'll make sure that you're set up for success if you're interested in being on the board. So do that for us. All right, I think that's it. Once again, thank you, everyone. Oh, it's second Sunday. That was very subtle, Jeff. Very, very smooth. Did you catch that? Do you have a birthday in January? Anybody? Oh, look at all the birthdays in January. Well, we're going to sing to you. Okay, ready? Thank you. All right, my friends, let's stand up. Let's make that spread out circle around the room, and let's rock out to a little Eddie Watkins Jr.
Take a look at the person next to you. Loves you and